So in this lecture we'll discuss about the concept of Fermi energy and Fermi function. So what is the definition of Fermi energy? Fermi energy is defined as the highest occupied energy level at 0 degree Kelvin, and it is known as the Fermi energy, and it is denoted by the symbol as EF. So you know that in case of solids there are energy level bands, and in energy level bands, inside this energy level band there are sharply defined energy levels like this, and there is one principle known as the Pauli's exclusion principle, which is applicable to the particles which are having half integral spins such as half h cross or 3/2 h cross and so on. So the electron has a spin which is half h cross and according to Pauli's exclusion principle, no two electrons can be present, no more than two electrons can be present in a single energy state, or no two electrons can have the same set of 4 quantum numbers, and therefore a single energy level can accommodate at the max 2 electrons. So these are your electrons which are filled in this energy level, then the next 2 electrons are filled in this energy level, then the next 2 electrons are filled in this energy level, and so on. So this energy level is the topmost energy level associated with the energy band, and if this highest occupied energy level or the topmost energy level is filled by the electrons at absolute zero, that is 0 degree Kelvin, then such highest occupied energy level at 0 degree Kelvin is defined as the Fermi energy. The energy associated with these electrons is defined as the Fermi energy, and the level corresponding to it is known as the Fermi level, and it is denoted by the letter that is EF. So E stands for energy and F for suffix F for Fermi. Now the next is Fermi function. So this Fermi function is given by Fermi Dirac, that is two scientists, Fermi and Dirac, and again this Fermi Dirac distribution law is applicable to the particles which are having spin which are half h cross or 3/2 h cross or 5/2 h cross and so on. That is, the particles having half integral spin, they obey this Fermi Dirac distribution law, and according to this Fermi Dirac distribution law we get P of E is equal to 1 upon 1 plus e raised to power E minus EF upon kT. So this is the Fermi function, and this is basically the probability distribution function. It is basically the probability distribution function which gives us the probability that the electrons are occupied in this energy level E with respect to this Fermi energy EF at given temperature, which is T. So here E is the energy level, E is the energy level in which electrons are occupied, EF is the Fermi level or Fermi energy, then this K is Boltzmann constant, and T is the temperature. So this Fermi function P of E, it is basically a probability distribution function, means it is going to give us the probability that electrons are occupied in this energy level E with respect to the Fermi energy, which is EF, at any given temperature, which is T. Now, with respect to this Fermi function, we can understand the behavior of intrinsic semiconductor. You know that intrinsic semiconductor are those semiconductors which are in its pure form. So when there is a pure silicon or pure germanium, no doping is performed, then it is called as the intrinsic semiconductor. So in case of intrinsic semiconductor, if these are the positions of valence band and conduction band, then the position of Fermi level for intrinsic semiconductor, it lies exactly the halfway between the valence band and conduction band. The reason behind it is this Fermi level, it depends upon the concentration of charge carriers. Now here for semiconductor, you know that there are two types of charge carriers, that is holes and electrons, and holes are present in the valence band while electrons are present in the conduction band. So concentration of charge carriers means the concentration of electrons in the conduction band. So it is the concentration of electrons in the conduction band, while the concentration of holes in the valence band. Now if you look at the covalent bonding structure in case of silicon, then you know that silicon being a tetravalent, it forms the covalent bond with the tetravalent, means the valence is 4 for silicon, and therefore there are 4 valence electrons for each silicon atom, and all these 4 electrons, they are shared by covalent bonding structure with the nearby silicon atom. Now as the covalent bonding structure is complete in case of pure silicon or pure germanium, that is intrinsic semiconductor, and therefore there are no free electrons present for conduction. So in order to achieve conductivity, we need to increase the temperature of this pure semiconductor. So when we increase the temperature, then by increasing the temperature we break the covalent bond, and as the covalent bond breaks, then it will release 2 electrons, as well as when the 2 electrons they leave their original position, it means that there will be an absence of electron, and this absence of electron is termed as a presence of hole. So if 2 electrons leave their position, then 2 holes will be created. So these electrons, they will occupy their position in the conduction band, and as soon as the electrons occupy their position in the conduction band, they will leave behind the vacancy in the valence band, and therefore you may say that for every electron present in the conduction band, there is a presence of hole in the valence band. So if there are 5 electrons present in the conduction band, there will be exactly 5 holes present in the valence band. Hence we say that the concentration of electrons in conduction band is exactly equal to the concentration of holes in the valence band, or we write it as electron density is exactly equal to the hole density, and therefore we refer this number as number of intrinsic charge carriers as simply by Ni. So as the concentration of charge carriers is exactly equal, and hence since the position of Fermi level it depends upon the concentration of charge carriers, so it will depend in case of intrinsic semiconductor, it will lie exactly the halfway between valence band and conduction band, because the position of Fermi level for intrinsic semiconductor, it will be the weighted average of the 2 energies, that is EV plus EC. So it will be EV plus EC divided by 2, where EV is the energy associated with the valence band and EC is the energy associated with the conduction band. Now we will see the behavior of this intrinsic semiconductor with the effect of temperature, and with this probability distribution function P of E, which is equal to 1 upon 1 plus e raised to power e minus ef by kt. So we will see the behavior of this intrinsic semiconductor with the help of this probability distribution function under different conditions, and the basic condition is we will see when the temperature is 0 degree Kelvin and when the temperature is above 0 degree Kelvin, what happens, that we will see. Obviously we'll see with the energy also. So let us discuss the first case. So the first case is when energy E is less than EF and temperature is 0 degree Kelvin. So now our Fermi function P of E is 1 upon 1 plus e raised to power e minus EF upon KT. Now let us substitute this condition. So here if E is less than EF, then this value will be 1 upon 1 plus e raised to power, since E is less than EF, but here the term is E minus EF, so this term will be a negative term, divided by KT, where K is Boltzmann constant and T is the temperature, so this term will be 0. So this will be 1 upon 1 plus e raised to power, something negative upon 0 is minus infinity, and therefore it will be 1 upon 1 plus e raised to power minus infinity. So this will be 1 upon 1 plus, you know the value of e raised to power minus infinity, it is 0. So this P of E, it yields a value which is equal to 1 under this condition, that is when E is less than EF and temperature is 0 degree Kelvin. What does it mean? It means that 100% electrons are occupied, 100% electrons are occupied in energy E which is less than EF when the temperature is 0 degree Kelvin. So here you know that the energy associated with the valence band is less than the energy that is the Fermi energy. So it means that when the temperature is 0 degree Kelvin, so I again redraw here the positions of valence band and conduction band. Suppose this is the position of valence band, this is position of conduction band, then this is Fermi energy which is EF. So when the temperature is 0 degree Kelvin, what we observe that the energy associated with valence band is less than the Fermi energy EF, while the energy associated with conduction band is higher than the Fermi energy EF, and under this condition, that is when E is less than EF and temperature T is equal to 0 degree Kelvin, we get the value of this P of E equal to 1. It means that 100% electrons are present in the valence band, means all the electrons are present in the valence band. Now let us discuss the second case, that is when E is greater than EF and temperature T is equal to 0 degree Kelvin. So now our Fermi function P of E is equal to 1 upon 1 plus e raised to power e minus EF upon KT. Now let us substitute the condition. So it will be now 1 upon 1 plus e raised to power. Now E is greater than EF, so this term E minus EF will be a positive term, divided by KT. K is constant and T is 0, so something positive upon 0 is infinity, and therefore it will be e raised to power infinity. E raised to power infinity is again infinity, and 1 plus infinity is again infinity, so it will be 1 upon infinity, and 1 upon infinity is 0. So if this P of E, if it yields a value which is equal to 0, it means that the energy state which is E which is greater than the Fermi energy EF at temperature T is equal to 0 degree Kelvin will remain empty. Because this is the probability, and if the probability of occupancy of this energy E by the electrons is 0, it means that this energy E, which is greater than the Fermi energy EF at absolute 0, is completely empty, and hence the energy associated with the conduction band is greater than the Fermi energy EF. So as E is greater than EF and temperature T is equal to 0 degree Kelvin, we observe that this P of E yields a value which is equal to 0. It means that this valence band in this case is completely filled, so 100% electrons are present in the valence band, while the conduction band is completely empty. Not a single electron is present in the conduction band, and that is the reason why this intrinsic semiconductor, it behaves like a perfect insulator. So intrinsic semiconductor, it behaves like a perfect insulator at absolute 0, that is 0 degree Kelvin, because the conduction band is completely empty while the valence band is completely filled. So no conduction electron is present in the conduction band at absolute 0, so it behaves like a perfect insulator. Now we will discuss the third case, that is, we will see the effect of temperature now. So when the energy E is equal to Fermi energy EF and temperature T is greater than 0 degree Kelvin, so this P of E, that is probability distribution function, Fermi function, is 1 upon 1 plus e raised to power E minus EF upon KT. So let us substitute this condition. So it will be 1 upon 1 plus e raised to power. Now since E is equal to EF, so now this term will be 0 divided by KT. So K is constant and T is greater than 0, so T is not 0, and therefore this will be the term which is 0 upon something positive term. So 0 upon something positive will be 0, and therefore it will be 1 upon 1 plus e raised to power 0, and anything raised to power 0 is 1, so it will be 1 upon 1 plus 1, which is equal to half. So this P of E yields a value which is equal to half, and if P of E yields a value half, it means that the probability that the electrons are present in this energy E, which is equal to Fermi energy EF, because here E is equal to EF, at temperature which is greater than 0 degree Kelvin is 50%. It means that if you increase the temperature above absolute 0, that is 0 degree Kelvin, then 50% electrons may reach to the Fermi energy EF, and therefore these 50% electrons may get transmitted into the conduction band. So 50% electrons may get transferred into the conduction band, and 50% electrons may remain in the valence band. And hence, with increase in temperature, we observe that the conductivity of this intrinsic semiconductor increases. So with the effect of temperature, as the conductivity increases, and hence we say that the properties of semiconductor, they are temperature dependent, because at absolute 0 it behaves like a perfect insulator, but as the temperature is increased, we observe conductivity, and therefore conducting properties of these materials, they lie between that of insulators and conductors, hence they are known as semiconductors. So this is how we can see the behavior of intrinsic semiconductor under three different cases. So MCQ type question can be framed on this topic for these three conditions. So let us summarize these conditions again. So when energy E is less than EF and temperature is 0 degree Kelvin, then we get the value of this P of E as 1. it means that 100% electrons are present in the valence band. Then when energy E is greater than EF and temperature is 0 degree Kelvin, then this P of E yields a value which is equal to 0. It means that the conduction band is completely empty at absolute 0 temperature, while when energy E is equal to Fermi energy, that is EF, and temperature is greater than 0 degree Kelvin, then this P of E, it yields a value which is equal to half. It means that 50% electrons may remain in the valence band, while 50% electrons may make transition to the conduction band. So these three conditions can also be shown with the graph as well. So this P of E on the y-axis and energy on the x-axis. So here if I say that this is the value of Fermi energy EF, then we know that the maximum value of this Fermi function P of E is equal to 1 at absolute 0 temperature. So here the temperature T is equal to 0 degree Kelvin. So when my temperature is 0 degree Kelvin, for all the energies here, for all the energies which are less than the Fermi energy EF, all these energy levels are occupied by the electrons. So 100% electrons, they occupy the energy levels below the Fermi energy EF at absolute 0. It means that this is your valence band which is completely filled. So valence band is completely filled with the electrons at absolute 0, while the energies which are greater than Fermi energy EF, so if the energy E is greater than Fermi energy EF, then at absolute 0 this Fermi function P of E, it suddenly becomes 0. It suddenly becomes 0 means all the energy states above this Fermi energy, they are completely empty. So not a single electron is transmitted into the conduction band. So here this is your conduction band. So conduction band is completely empty, while the valence band is completely filled at absolute 0. While when we increase the temperature more than 0 degree Kelvin, we observe that the Fermi function yields a value which is equal to half. So Fermi function yields a value half, that is P of E is equal to half for temperature greater than 0 degree Kelvin. It means that the probability that electrons may be present in the valence band is 50%, while the probability that electrons may go to the conduction band is 50%. So here we can see that with increase in temperature, conductivity can be achieved in case of semiconductors. Then next is position of Fermi level. Position of Fermi level in extrinsic semiconductor and its dependence on temperature and doping concentration. So we know that for intrinsic semiconductor, that is pure semiconductor, if these are the positions of valence band and conduction band, then the position of Fermi level lies exactly the halfway between valence band and conduction band. So it is indicated as EFI, indicating the Fermi level of intrinsic semiconductor, because I already explained to you that the number of holes present in the valence band is exactly equal to the number of electrons present in the conduction band. So as the position depends upon the concentration of charge carriers, so here the concentration of charge carriers being exactly equal, the position of Fermi level lies halfway between valence band and conduction band for intrinsic semiconductor. Now there are two types of doping which can be performed in this intrinsic semiconductor. That is, it can be either doped with trivalent impurity or it can be doped with pentavalent impurity. So if we dope a pure semiconductor with a trivalent impurity, then we get a p-type semiconductor, p-type extrinsic semiconductor, and if we dope it with pentavalent impurity, then we get n-type extrinsic semiconductor. Now you know this doping effect. So for p-type semiconductor, if I dope this pure silicon structure, which is a covalent bonding structure, with trivalent impurity, such as say indium, then this indium has a valency of 3, so it has 3 valence electrons. So these 3 valence electrons will form the covalent bond with the nearby silicon atoms, but one bond will remain incomplete. So as the one of the bond covalent bond remains incomplete because there is no electron, and hence the absence of this electron is termed as a presence of hole. So it gives out one hole. Now this hole can accept an electron at its position, so it can accept a free electron at this position, and therefore addition of this p-type addition of this trivalent impurity is also known as acceptor impurity. It is also known as addition of acceptor impurity. Because it can accept one electron at its position, and thereby we can so by introducing a hole over here, by addition of this acceptor impurity, we can increase the electrical conductivity of this pure semiconductor, and that is why we perform the doping. So in case of p-type semiconductor, we know that the majority charge carriers are holes, and holes are always occupied in the valence band. So holes will always be occupied in the valence band. So majority and minority, so here the majority charge carriers are holes, minority charge carriers are electrons which are present in the conduction band for p-type semiconductor. The name majority itself indicates that the number of holes is very large in the valence band. The minority charge carriers are electrons in the conduction band. The name minority indicates that they are very few in number. So as the position of Fermi level depends upon the concentration of charge carriers, and here the concentration of holes is more, so the position of Fermi level for p-type semiconductor, it shifts near to that of the valence band. And further, to be more specific, here in order to form this p-type semiconductor, we dope it with acceptor impurity. So an additional energy level called as the acceptor level is created near this valence band, and it is shown as EA. A stands for acceptor energy level, and the position of Fermi level for p-type semiconductor, it lies exactly the halfway between the acceptor level and the valence band. Now, so this is the effect of doping. So due to doping this intrinsic semiconductor by trivalent impurity, we observe the shift in the position of Fermi level. So from the middle of the energy gap between valence band and conduction band, this position of Fermi level shift near to that of the valence band, and it lie exactly the halfway between the acceptor level and the valence band. While for n-type semiconductor, so for n-type semiconductor, if suppose these are the positions of valence band and conduction band, then in order to make this n-type semiconductor, we dope this pure silicon or germanium structure, which is a covalent bonding structure, with a pentavalent impurity, say phosphorus. So this phosphorus being pentavalent, it has 5 electrons as the valence electrons. Out of these 5 electrons, the 4 electrons will form covalent bond with the nearby silicon structure, but 1 electron will remain free. So this free electron will be the excess electron which remains free for conduction, and therefore since the addition of this impurity, as it donates 1 free electron for conduction, and therefore addition of this pentavalent impurity is also known as a donor impurity. So due to addition of this donor impurity, an excess energy level called as the donor level, indicated as ED, is developed, which is near to that of the conduction band, and since addition of this pentavalent impurity, it gives out excess number of electrons. So large number of electrons are present in the conduction band as compared to the number of holes in the valence band. So majority charge carriers are electrons which are present in the conduction band, while minority charge carriers are holes which are present in the valence band for n-type semiconductor. So in this case, the concentration of electrons is more near to the conduction band, hence the position of Fermi level, it will shift near to that of the conduction band, and to be more specific, it shifts in such a way that it lies exactly the halfway between the donor level and the conduction band. So here for p-type semiconductor, it shifts below, the position of Fermi level shifts below, that is near to the valence band, while for n-type semiconductor the position of Fermi level will shift upwards, that is near to that of the conduction band. Now we will see what is the, so this was the effect of doping. So if the pure semiconductor is doped with trivalent impurity and pentavalent impurity, then we have seen the change in position of Fermi level with the doping concentration. Now we will see the dependence of this Fermi level, that is particularly for extrinsic semiconductors. Extrinsic semiconductors are those semiconductors which are doped semiconductors, such as p-type and n-type semiconductor. So now we will discuss its dependence on temperature. So what is the effect of temperature? So if I make the differentiation of temperature as low, moderate and high. So when the temperature is low, then this is the case, that is position of Fermi level for p-type is lying between acceptor level and the valence band, and it is near to the valence band, while for n-type semiconductor position of Fermi level is near to the conduction band, and it lies halfway between the donor level and the conduction band. So this is for the low temperature. But if I keep on increasing the temperature, say a moderate temperature is applied to the p-type semiconductor, then what will happen? Then by increasing the temperature, the covalent bonds will start to break. If the covalent bond break, then it will release 2 electrons. So if these 2 electrons become free, then they will leave behind 2 holes. So these free electrons will reach into the conduction band, and it will create 2 holes in the valence band. So if the number of electrons in the conduction band increases due to this increase in temperature, then the Fermi level for p-type semiconductor, it will start shifting in the upward direction. So the position of Fermi level for p-type semiconductor will start shifting in the upward direction. Then if you still increase the temperature beyond a moderate temperature, that is, if you increase the temperature to high extent, then in that case the large number of covalent bonds will break, and therefore it will release large number of electrons in the conduction band. So now there is no effect of this impurity edge which is added into the silicon structure. So now the effect will be the breaking of covalent bond. So if the covalent bond break, then it will release large number of electrons and large number of holes. So large number of holes are accumulated in the valence band, and large number of electrons will accumulate in the conduction band, such that they will be exactly equal. So as the number of electrons and in the conduction band will ultimately equal to that of the number of holes in the valence band, so the position of Fermi level will finally touch to that of the position of Fermi level for intrinsic semiconductor. What does it mean? It means that if you increase the temperature of this p-type semiconductor to large extent, it will no more behave like a p-type semiconductor, but it will behave like intrinsic semiconductor. That is, it will behave like a pure semiconductor. So sometimes an MCQ type question can be framed on this topic, that if you increase the temperature of p-type semiconductor to larger extent, then the p-type semiconductor will get converted into and you may be provided with the option like n-type semiconductor, or it may be intrinsic semiconductor, or remains as a p-type semiconductor, no effect of temperature, or it may become insulator. So if you increase the temperature of p-type semiconductor to large extent, then it will become the intrinsic semiconductor. Now let us discuss about the dependence of Fermi level with the temperature for n-type semiconductor. So for n-type semiconductor also, at low temperature we know that the position of Fermi level is near to the conduction band and lie between that of donor level and the conduction band. But if you increase the temperature, say to some moderate extent, then again here some of the covalent bonds, few of the covalent bonds will break, and by breaking the covalent bond, it releases 2 electrons in the conduction band. At the same time, it will leave behind holes here in the valence band. So the number of holes in the valence band will increase. So the position of Fermi level will now shift towards lower energy side. And if the temperature of this n-type semiconductor is increased to high extent, then it will also break large number of covalent bonds. So now there will not be major effect of doping, but the conductivity will be achieved due to the breaking of covalent bonds, and hence when a covalent bond break, it releases 2 electrons and generate 2 holes. Means the number of charge carriers will again be exactly equal. So the number of electrons in the conduction band will be nearly equal to the number of holes in the valence band, and hence ultimately the position of Fermi level for n-type semiconductor will also touch the position of Fermi level of intrinsic semiconductor. So as the position of Fermi level for n-type semiconductor touches the position of Fermi level of intrinsic semiconductor, so this n-type semiconductor also turn out to be the intrinsic semiconductor if its temperature is increased to larger extent. So both the extrinsic semiconductors, that is p-type semiconductor and n-type semiconductor, they will lose their identity and will change themselves as, or they will behave like the intrinsic semiconductor or pure semiconductor with the effect of high temperature. So MCQ type question can also be framed on this topic for n-type semiconductor also, that if the temperature of n-type semiconductor is increased to higher extent, then it turns out to be, and you may be provided with the option that remains as a n-type semiconductor, becomes p-type semiconductor, becomes intrinsic semiconductor, or becomes insulator. So if temperature is increased to large extent for n-type semiconductor, it becomes the intrinsic semiconductor.